Multi-passionate people get stuck spinning the wheels because they have multiple passions, multiple interests, multiple ideas, multiple talents. And when they try and focus on one of them, they get FOMO on all their other ideas, their passions, etc. So as a result of that, they end up flip-flopping from one idea to one talent to one passion, never gaining any traction because they have been socially conditioned and programmed to believe you have to pick one thing. And that's not true. What you need to do is you need to pick a North Star and then have all your different passion skill sets leveraged up, stacked up together so that you never start from scratch, okay? What you're doing is you're just going up in levels like that, utilizing different skills and passions in order to support this overarching goal, which is your North Star. So to illustrate this, I'm going to use the celebrity chef, entrepreneur, media personality, Matty Matheson, right? So he is a chef. That was his first role, his first passion. But as a result of being a very successful chef, working in the fine dining scene, working as a restaurateur, this allowed him to become a screenwriter and co-creator of the TV show The Bear, which is on FX, which is all about a fine dining restaurant in Chicago, the creation of it, all the drama, the chefs, and everything goes along with it. It's beautifully shot, very, very creative show, beautiful, beautiful show. That is only possible because Matty has spent so long being a chef and working in restaurants. To have that level of insight and detail and to be able to articulate it and give the insights and the feelings what it's like to be in these high pressure situations of fine dining restaurants is only possible because of his love of being a chef. So he's a chef, he's a screenwriter, he's a co-creator of The Bear, he's also an actor in it where he plays one of the chefs, okay? He's also a restaurateur. He owns a couple of restaurants, I believe. He owns multiple brands, different sauces, that kind of thing. He's a cookbook author. All these things require different passions. He's an author. He's a screenwriter. He's a co-creator of a TV show. He is an actor. He's a chef. He's a restaurateur. These are all different passions. But as you can see, they all support one thing, which is food. And this is why we have the intersection here. Food is love. Okay? So you kind of know this. I know this. I've been working with multi-passionate people for 3 decades, both in the music industry and the creator economy, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And the successful ones always have a North Star. And as I say, you know this, you want this. How do you find your North Star? Well, let's look at how Matty has discovered his North Star. So food is love. Why does he believe that? Because he was brought up in a blue-collar working family in, I was going to say Toronto, but in Canada. I'm not sure where about, I think it was Ontario. And his father was a mechanic, his mother was a waitress, and they didn't talk about their feelings. There's this quote here: food was always around, and it was the way we loved each other. We didn't talk about feelings, we made spaghetti. And that is why food is his North Star, because food reminds him of his family, sharing meals, cooking for each other. That food is love. And this goes into why Matty is such a paradox and why he's so successful. This goes beyond his purpose and stuff like that. This goes into why he is so successful. And that's because there's a paradox. He is chaotic, right? He looks chaos, right? He doesn't look like your typical celebrity chef. He's neck to toe in tattoos. He's very high energy, very chaotic. But ultimately, he is a teddy bear. He cares for people. Food is love. That's what he thinks. So the paradox with him is he's somebody who's very chaotic or looks chaotic, but it's actually very caring. So this is why he's the perfect example of a rebel archetype who crashes into a scene, fine dining, food media, without asking permission. He flips the script on how chefs, masculinity and creativity are supposed to look. He stands out by being different. He does not look like Gordon Ramsay. He's not standing there in a pristine chef's whites, newly ironed, crease-free. He's the way he is. He's just chaotic. So he doesn't look, and because he looks different, but yet has all the technical skills and plus the personality, the chaos versus the care, then he stands out. That makes him marketable, okay? So he also taps into other creative archetypes. He taps into the wounded healer, he taps into the authentic creator, which means he turns his vulnerability into brand power. But that's not a manipulative thing, it's just who he is, right? So as I say, he's very chaotic, but very caring. So he openly talks about his drug addiction, rehab, weight struggles, past chaos. That vulnerability, as somebody that looks as chaotic as he does, with the care, with everything else, with all his different skill sets, is very marketable. Now, I don't believe for a second he has sat down here and thought, hey, a Machiavellian sort of way to manipulate that. This is just who he is. He is weird. And to be weird is to stand out. That goes the opposite of what you were taught as a kid. Me too. We were told to hide our weirdness. We were to hide our vulnerability. We were to hide our love or whatever, our feelings, our emotions. That's what we were told. But that's just clearly not true, as you can see is evident here. So how do you go about finding this? Well, you have to look in and say, well, how can I reconnect with my inner child? What is my creative purpose? Now, this might be something in terms of Matty's case where it was love, where he felt safe, where he was able to share emotions and feelings, and that through the form of food. So food equals love. That might be something you were missing. So, for example, Rick Rubin was in a very sort of cold, emotional environment with his parents. He was an only child. There was no vulnerability. So is it any surprise that he is now famous for helping artists be more vulnerable? It's not about perfection for him. It's about the truth, which means to be vulnerable. Now, that is the opposite of the environment he was brought up in as a child. So Rick Rubin is reconnecting with his inner child in a completely different way. And there'll be another video. I'll do another video about Rick Rubin. But he's reconnected with his inner child in something that was missing. In Matty's case, he's reconnecting with his inner child, something that he had. Something that means something to him. And as a result of that, he's taken all his different skill sets, all his different passions, and he's focused them in one direction. And as a result of that, he's never had to start from scratch. He's never completely reinvented himself. He's taken the skill sets and he's pointed it in the same direction. So you can do the same, but that means reconnecting with your inner child, journaling, asking questions, whatever it takes to get back into that mode. See what you had, what you love, or see what you were missing, and then see if that works by stacking your different skills against that and niching them up. So I hope this helps. Peace out.